Aaron Rodgers, I don't ever remember a guy being injured, out for a season, and making so much noise, Rob. This dude is the most, and I get it, the Jets, they're the Jets, okay? But still, he is by far the most talked about Jet, the most news-making Jet this season.
Yeah, but let me just say this. I hear you, but that's because he has a paid gig to be on every week. He's not. I hear what you're saying, Chris.
He don't need the money. It's $1 million.
No. I know that. I know that. But I'm
but
just saying, like, it's a weekly appearance.
But if you go,
that's
on
why
there,
we hear more about him.
No, because everybody else talks weekly too.
No,
he
not
just
on that
stuff.
platform. I'm just saying.
They get other guests. Do you hear about any other guest on that show? All we hear about is Aaron Rodgers because he says stuff. And that's the thing. I hear you. Of course, he's on the show weekly, but all the players get interviewed after games, after practices every day. So they're all talking too. But he's making.
You don't have access to players every day.
No, not every day. Well, not football, yeah. But still, they're talking during the week, some of them. Some of them are on local radio shows, and some of them do national radio interviews, and obviously they speaking after the game, and so is the coach. But anyway, here is Aaron Rodgers. Rob G, summarize the latest. Now he's battling with Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, just quickly, Rob. Nick Saban and J.J. Watt also do interviews on that show, and you never hear anything about what they said.
Nick Saban, I never heard one thing.
No, but
J.J. Watt.
They don't say anything. But my point is, but you were making it like for somebody who's injured, you're hearing them, and all I was saying was that he has a national platform. Do you see what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Well, let's get to the latest with Aaron Rodgers.
And Nick Saban, Nick Saban hasn't said anything in 40 years.
But he still gets these great ads with Coca-Cola.
They do.
He does.
That's because he's attached to winning.
Affleck.
Too. And Affleck, that's right.
Because he's attached to winning. You know that. That's all that is.
Until this year. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, we talked about it last week, ruffled a lot of feathers when he said on the Pat McAfee show, quote, "There's a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, who's really hoping that Epstein list doesn't come out," which many interpreted as him insinuating that Jimmy Kimmel either is or associates himself with pedophiles. Of course, we saw some documents come out in the coming days, and what do you know? Jimmy Kimmel's name was not listed anywhere in the deposition or any of the documents that became public. Well, about a week later now, a week to the day, Aaron Rodgers finally spoke about his controversial comments, and here's what he said.
And I said, a lot of people, and I'm quoting myself here, a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't come out. End quote. That's what I said. That's the entire quote. Okay? I was referring to the fact that if there is a list, which again, this hasn't come out yet, this was just a deposition, right? And there are names on it, then that would be the second time that a soft brain junior college student, wacko, anti-vax, anti-Semite, purveyor, spreader of misinformation, conspiracy theorist, MAGA, whatever other things have been said by him and other people in the media would be right twice.
Okay, so it sounds like, Rob, what he's saying is that he was saying when he initially made the comment that Kimmel wasn't afraid of the Epstein list coming out because he might be on it, but he was afraid of it coming out because Aaron Rodgers would be right about something else. So, I mean, that's plausible, but here's the thing. No one took it that way.
Well, Chris,
the first time you said it, no one knew all the things you just clarified. So you owe that man an apology.
100%, because but this is where, Chris, and I'm with you. If you have to clarify it and you weren't clear on why people took it the way that they did, and number two, if there was a journalist or somebody there, once he said it, Chris could have immediately said, Do you have breaking news, Aaron? Why would Jimmy Kimmel not want the list to come out? And then there's your moment
Good point.
for him to make it.
Yep.
That's why you have to have people there as safeguards so that stuff. Why, Chris? We say it all the time. We're not bragging. We're trained journalists. We would not let anybody come on our show. We just had Mike Lombardi on, Chris, right? Me and you both love Mike Lombardi.
Yep.
When he poo-pooed the cheating scandal with Michigan, can we just sit back? Right? No. He was on a team, an organization that cheated.
Right.
That's all.
No, and that's where, Rob, it's not just about trying to trap the person you're interviewing
right.
or trying to get a great quote. Some of it's clarity, and that oftentimes can protect the person being interviewed.
And Chris,
that would have protected Rodgers.
And ESPN.
Right. And that turned into a big stink with ESPN.
They had to apologize because they don't want to be a part of something. You can't throw people's names out and insinuate stuff. You can't.
Yeah. Nah, you're right. That's a great point in how having a journalist there who would have asked Rodgers, well, Jimmy Kimmel, what's the news on him? What do you have on him?
Right. Why would he care?
That would have protected Rodgers. Now, Rob, I do question. I think it's very possible, just knowing his track record, that Rodgers is blowing smoke. Right? That Rodgers really did want to jab Kimmel. You know what I mean?
Put it right. Make it.
Yeah, associate him with that, even if he knew it was false, and just throw it out there and not knowing the rules, you know what I mean, of libel and all that stuff. But it would have either way it would have came out, and he wouldn't have been able to say what he just said if that was the case. Like if he would have doubled down, oh no, I'm telling you, I've heard things. You know, then now you can't tell this lie if it's a lie that you just told to clarify it. But the bottom line, Rob, and look, Rodgers he's one of the greatest people to ever throw a football. He's one of the greatest at something that the world has ever seen.
There's no doubt about it. Anybody who says anything other, they're kidding themselves.
No, right.
You don't have to be online with everybody up and follow their politics or their thought process or their comments or whatever. But for what he did in his professional career, he is one of the greatest who ever did it. It's just that simple.
And I guess, Rob, and it doesn't happen with everybody, but I guess that can also, when you are the best to ever do something or one of the best to ever do something, maybe you just get full of yourself, because why wouldn't you go on there and say, look, I didn't mean, I meant it an entirely different way. I didn't mean that Jimmy's name was going to be on the list. I didn't mean he's a pedophile. I don't think that at all. But I didn't clarify it, Chris, and so I apologize for that. Like, why couldn't you say that?
I'm with you 100%. If I said something to you and you said, "Hey, Rob, that offends me," okay, that would be my chance right there, Chris, to say, if I really didn't mean to offend you, Chris, I apologize. Right. Okay. The only reason you wouldn't say that, apologize, means that you tried to. Because if someone says I'm offended and you don't mean to offend somebody, it's a real simple fix.
Right.
Oh, Chris, I apologize. I didn't mean it in that way.
Yep.
No, I didn't mean it in that way. There's no way. I don't know anything about the list. There's no way I'm saying Jimmy Kimmel is involved in pedophilia. No. Oh, my God, no, that's not what I meant. That's all.
I'm going to say this about Rodgers, Rob. And, his teammates voted him most inspirational Jet this season. And, I was saying all year that his working out to try to get back, whether it was for attention, whether it was selfishness, whether it was a farce, whether it was unrealistic, whatever the motive, I did think that would motivate his teammates, that would inspire them just to see this 40-year-old guy working his butt off. Yeah, that was always your get take. Back. Yeah, and they confirmed it, so to speak, by making him the most inspirational. Rob, I think the best thing for him to do next year if he wants to try to have the best season that the Jets can have. And look, I'm not telling you he can do what he wants. I don't want to take money out of anybody's pocket. But I'm just saying this. I think the best thing for him to do would be to forego the weekly interviews and just say, look, it's all about football this year. And he said it yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, but it was this week
about
for
all
sure.
the BS?
Yeah, like let's leave the BS out the building. Well, most of the BS is coming from your interviews every Tuesday.
And then everybody else has to respond to it or comment about it.
Rob, how inspiring would it be if he says, look, y'all, preseason meeting, it's all about football. Nobody thinks we can do it. I saw our defense. I watched our defense all last year. You guys were great. I saw Garrett get 1,000 yards receiving and break a Jets record with, you don't have to diss the quarterbacks, but, with our quarterback situation with a bunch of different guys throwing him the ball. I saw Brees run hard. I'm going to do my job, fellas. We got a chance to do something special. And so it's all football. I'm not doing my weekly shows. I'm not talking about all this other stuff. It's all football. Now, he can talk Rob privately about all that stuff with his teammates, with whoever, but just don't. That's what I would say. I think that would send a message to his teammates that, this season is going to be different. And I don't know that they're going to be any good. He's 2 years removed now from playing some good football, so he may not be that great. But, Rob, let's keep it real. If their defense is really good and he's just mediocre next year, they could be okay. Because we saw that with Cleveland, Pittsburgh,
But you also know, like Miami and Tua, Buffalo, Chris, ain't no cakewalk.
Oh, no. I'm not saying I'm picking them to do anything. Yeah. I'm just saying I think that would be a good statement. Right. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be easy.
No. They're gonna have their hands full. If they just make the playoffs, that'll be good for them next year.